Retired police officers protest poor treatment, tell IGP Egbetokun, "You can't use rank and file as slaves." Tinubu, Kwankwaso meet at Aso Rock. "Beat your wives, lose your seats," Emir Sanusi warns traditional title holders. 2027, Emir of Daura gives reasons for endorsing President Tinubu for second term. Doctors to begin nationwide strike Thursday. Electricity Act fallout, Gencos discuss rage as states begins tariff cuts. Trump administration releases assassination files of Martin Luther King Jr. Summary of the news. Retired police officers protest poor treatment, tell IGP Egbetokun, "You can't use rank and file as slaves." Group of retired Nigerian police officers staged a protest in Abuja over poor treatment and inadequate retirement benefits. They claim that after serving for 35 years, they only received 25% of the funds deducted from their salaries during service. Retired officer Danjuma lamented receiving just 30,000 naira monthly, accusing authorities of neglect and deception. Another protester, DSP Lawrence Adeku, criticized the disparity in gratuity payments, noting that police retirees receive significantly less than their counterparts in other sectors like the judiciary. The protesters accused the Inspector General of Police and the National Assembly of ignoring their plight and called for a comprehensive review of their retirement benefits. Tinubu, Kwankwaso meet at Aso Rock. Former Kano governor and NNPP leader Rabiu Kwankwaso held a private meeting with President Bola Tinubu on Monday at the president's official residence. This was their second known meeting since Tinubu's 2023 inauguration. The closed-door visit came shortly after Kwankwaso attended the Nigerian Forest Economy Summit in Abuja. While the meeting's details were not disclosed, it occurs amid rising political activity ahead of the 2027 elections. Kwankwaso, a key northern political leader, has been courted by opposition leaders forming a coalition to challenge Tinubu's APC. Though his NNPP isn't formally part of the ADC-led coalition, his influence, especially in Kano State, makes him a significant player in national politics. "Beat your wife, lose your seats," Emir Sanusi warns traditional title holders. The 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has condemned violence against women, asserting that Islam does not support such actions. Speaking at his palace to representatives from DRPC and CICID as part of a Ford Foundation initiative against gender-based violence, he emphasized that traditional rulers must uphold women's rights. Sanusi declared he does not support beating women and warned that any title holder found guilty of such abuse will lose their traditional title. He stressed that violence cannot be justified under Islam, even when framed as discipline or reform. 2027, Emir of Daura gives reasons for endorsing President Tinubu for second term. The Emir of Daura, Umar Farouk Umar, endorsed President Bola Tinubu for re-election in 2027 in appreciation for the dignified state burial given to former President Muhammadu Buhari, a native of Daura. The Emir praised Tinubu's personal involvement in the mourning, including attending in person, declaring a public holiday, and providing a presidential jet for Buhari's remains. He described Tinubu as a long-term friend and expressed deep gratitude for the honor shown to Daura and Katsina State. The endorsement occurred during a condolence visit by the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who led a delegation of governors' wives. She emphasized that Buhari's death was a personal loss for her family, as he had been a close friend and ally of her husband for over 30 years. Buhari passed away at age 82 in London and was buried in his Daura home. Doctors begin nationwide strike Thursday. The National Medical Association (NMA) has threatened to begin a nationwide strike on Thursday, July 24, 2025, if the federal government fails to meet its demands by the end of a 21-day ultimatum expiring on Wednesday, July 23rd. The dispute stems from a controversial circular issued by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission regarding revised allowances for medical and dental officers. The NMA says the circular violates existing agreements and jeopardizes the welfare of healthcare professionals. NMA President Professor Bala Audu emphasized that the demands are vital to the survival of Nigeria's healthcare system. Although an initial meeting with government officials occurred, a follow-up was delayed due to the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari. State chapters in Katsina, Ekiti, Ondo, and Delta have expressed support for the NMA stance, rejecting the government's proposed changes. If no resolution is reached before the deadline, the NMA warns that a nationwide strike is inevitable. Electricity Act fallout, GenCos, discourse rage as states begin tariff cuts. Enugu State has cut electricity tariffs for Band A customers from 209 naira kilowatt per hour to 160 naira kilowatt per hour starting August 1, 2025, sparking a wave of interest from other states. Ondo, Plateau, and Lagos plan similar reductions, while Ekiti is holding off for now. The move comes as states gain control of their electricity markets under the Electricity Act 2023. However, power generation and distribution companies strongly oppose the cuts, warning they could cripple the sector. They argue there is no official subsidy to cover the shortfall and say over 5 trillion naira is already owed to GenCos. The Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission insists its decision was based on data and existing federal subsidies, but critics questioned its financial sustainability. This could warn that unless states cover the losses, investment will dry up and the power supply could suffer. While Enugu defends its decision as pro-consumer, experts caution it may set an unsustainable precedent if not backed by solid financial planning. Trump administration releases assassination files of Martin Luther King Jr. The Trump administration has released over 230,000 pages of federal records related to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as part of a broader declassification effort that includes files on the deaths of John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. This move was aimed at increasing transparency about these historical events. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard stated that the release was made with minimal redactions, ensuring that no stone is left unturned in revealing the full extent of government investigations. However, MLK's children, Martin Luther King III and Bernice King, expressed concerns that the files might be misused to attack their father's legacy. They acknowledged the need for historical accountability but highlighted the FBI's past efforts to discredit King, describing them as invasive and predatory. The articles also note that James L. Ray was convicted of MLK's murder, but that the King family has long questioned his guilt. This release follows earlier declassification of files related to JFK 1963 and RFK 1968 assassinations, which have long fueled conspiracy theories despite official conclusions pointing to lone gunmen. Follow for more. July 22nd, 2025.